So I'm a GP, still in clinical practice, and I'm Professor of General Practice at the University of Newcastle and currently based on the Central Coast at Wyong. So it's very interesting. There's lots of research happening. Um, I think the information about prevention that's coming out, starting in midlife, looking at exercise and diet and uh, looking after yourself, basically, blood pressure, cardiovascular risk factors, um, and the fact that this may well be modifying the incidence of dementia. We heard this morning that there's less dementia than there was 10 or 20 years ago per age group as an incidence rate, although of course there's huge numbers of people now with dementia because the population's growing. But I think all of that's really exciting. It's good to know that there's something we can do about it. Also, we've done a couple of big trials. We did a randomised controlled trial on GP education around dementia for specific patients. We recruited the patients first through the general practice, and then we asked the GP to comment on the dementia status and then do a small intervention. First of all, it's quite hard for the GPs to identify people with dementia. There's a lot who are in a sort of maybe sort of basket. So then we send out information to all these patients, some of whom have and some don't. And it's quite confronting. And if you have dementia, it's a lot of information to read, to even get started on being recruited. So needless to say, we had a lot more people in the mild, early or mild to moderate than we had in the more late stages using that technique that we use with GPs. And other techniques that use patients who've been used in a lot of other trials, obviously those people are often quite sick of being spoken to and blood tests and things like that. So it's very, very time intensive to get patients for a dementia trial. Well, I think it would be great to have a database of people who have a diagnosis of dementia and carers, because what we do in general practice research is also look at how to support carers. So, Step Up has that geographically, so we could identify the GPs in that area, perhaps in the area we work in, and work with them and their patients that have put their names down on Step Up. We overcome that recruitment challenge of sending out a letter, getting permission from ethics to follow up with a phone call, trying to explain it on the phone, not getting anything back, or sometimes we would get a consent form back but it wasn't signed because the person has dementia, and that's quite a big challenge for someone with dementia. So Step Up overcomes all of that. The people have already given consent to be contacted, and we know that they agree to being part of a research project. One way we could use it as GPs is to encourage our patients with dementia to put their names down, because they still have the right to say yes or no to any project, and there may be some very worthwhile projects that would be helped with having a database like that. And in fact, my patients with dementia want to be seen as being worthwhile and contributing. So that would be actually something I could do for them by getting them linked in with researchers. And I know that Step Up only accepts projects with ethics approval, so that means the project has gone through an appropriate peer-reviewed process already and then an ethical approval process. So they're not going to be hit with something that might have aspects that I wouldn't like. So that's a way of ensuring that people go into high quality or get offered a place in high quality projects, and it's something we can do for our patients, and hopefully some of those projects will feed straight back into the way that we manage patients with dementia.